We're in there with some of that gorgeous soup. There you go, that is our fantastic creamy roasted garlic soup. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today, 50 cloves of garlic. Garlic soup. We're doing a roasted creamy garlic soup. Get on and do it, come on. We want a tray and we want some foil. 50 cloves of garlic. There you go. So I'm using 50 cloves of garlic here, as you can see. Now what you would do if you haven't got peeled garlic, this is already peeled already, look. You would just get the garlic bulbs and whip the top off. Put them in the foil with a little drizzle of olive oil on and roast them the same. So these are probably going to roast quicker than a bulb. A bulb will take probably about 35 minutes. These might only take 20 minutes. So we don't want to, in fact we're going to put a little bit of salt on there. Optional step, you don't have to, just a tiny little amount. We're just going to fold this up, tent it, but I actually want it to evaporate out some of the fluid, so we're not going to scrunch it up tight. That's going in the oven 190. So that should give us a chance to make everything else. Pan on. I'll do it in an open pan, but you can close it over if you want with a lid, but you won't see what we're doing, will you? Now it's a straightforward dish this, you know, in there with a little bit of olive oil. Now I am going to use butter as well, and I've got a chunk of butter there, look. About a tablespoon. Butter is optional, but I want it in here. We're making a soup. Heat that up, chuck in the onions and start frying off. And I'm using herbs today, but I'm using dried thyme and dried rosemary, and they will be going into bloom before we add our stock. Okay, we get the onions in there. Look, we can start that off. Nice little cook on here. In there with a little bit of salt. You don't have to go too much with salt if you're using stock cubes. A little bit of pepper. Now I'm going in there with my herbs. That's rosemary and this is thyme. They can bloom in there with the onions, you know, in that oil. And then when we add the potatoes, you know, it's going to flavour up everything with the potatoes. There you go. What a smell. Fabulous. Rosemary and thyme work very well with a garlic soup. But, you know, put any herb in, whatever you like. You might like oregano. In there, potatoes. Let's give them a little cooking in there as well. Now it doesn't matter if you overcook them or anything, you know, they're going to be blended. So get them in, cook them off. And because we're roasting the garlic, you don't have to rush to put the garlic in either. We can cook this off, put the stock in, then add the garlic. It doesn't matter, the garlic's cooked, the garlic's full of flavour. It's a super easy soup to do. It's just so easy and full of flavour. And no, it doesn't taste of strong garlic because it's been roasted. So we can go in there with our stock. Now I'm going to cook this uncovered, but you can cook it covered. We're going to bring it up to the boil and we're going to simmer it for about 25 minutes, somewhere around about there. And in that time, we're going to take that garlic, once it's been roasted for about 20 minutes, and we're going to chuck it in here. And it can come in here and cook in here. And then we're going to get a little blend. Nice and steady. Now, for all those people who are not vegetarian, you know, you can use chicken stock if you wanted. Up to you. Okay, our potatoes are starting to go really soft. We'll check our garlic and we'll chuck it in here. So that's what we're talking. We're talking fantastic roasted garlic. We're going to keep a couple to go over the top of our dish, and the rest and the olive oil, everything is cooked in there. Okay, just like that. So just bring that in. We're going to give that a minute in there, and we're going to stick blend this. We're going to blend it. Get that in there. So I'm just going to turn it off for a second. We're going to give it a little blending in the pan. You can take it out, you can put it in a blender, entirely up to you. And you can blend it as smooth or as rustic as you like. That'll do, we don't have to go too much on there. That's a lovely soup. Little flame back on. I'm going to put some cream in. I'm going to warm it all the way through, and it's ready to go. A little bit of cream in there. Nice little bring in. Just bring it back up to temperature, nice and steady. Check for seasoning. Bingo. A little bit of black pepper for me, actually. A little bit of black pepper on there. Season to taste, obviously. That is superb. Superb. There you go. Now this is thick enough for me, but if you want to go thicker, obviously you cook it thicker. You know, you just cook it a little bit longer, but be careful. You don't want to go too thick. This is absolutely perfect. So we want to put a little bit of zing in there before we serve this up. We're going in there with a little bit of lemon juice, and you'll find the lemon juice with this garlic flavour is sensational. It just brings it all together. There you go. That's it, we're ready to serve. Let's serve it, get it in a bowl, come on. So it's straightforward, obviously. We're in there with some of that gorgeous soup. And I'm going to dress it up with just a little bit of roasted garlic on there. Now that might just sink all the way in. A little sprinkling of black pepper, only a little bit because this is my choice. Just put something on the top. Now you can always drizzle olive oil and cream on there. It is entirely up to you. There you go, that is our fantastic creamy roasted garlic soup. How easy is that? Come on. There you go, unbelievably easy, unbelievably tasty. It's off the charts. It is absolutely superb. Serve it with croutons, serve it with bread, serve it with anything. Come on, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh man, that is so good. That is off the charts. Oh yeah. Underlying hint of the herbs in there. The garlic is roasted garlic. It is not strong. It is not overpowering. It's salty enough. It's nicely balanced with the pepper, the cream, and that little bit of lemon in there. That is a fantastic soup. Oh yeah. You'll be surprised how good that really is. For all the people that go on about garlic, that is sensational. There you go, nice easy one. Really easy, quick, delicious soup to make. And you need it in the cold weather, well, any weather to be honest. Soup is always good. There you go, that is our creamy garlic soup made. If you like what we're doing, share with your friends. Tell them how easy it is to make this. And if you do like what we're doing, big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.